Welcome to the deep dive. We take your complex research notes and boil them down to the essentials.
That's the plan.
So today we're looking at something pretty specialized. You sent over material on two quite specific tools, the Urim Thummim version, the UTV, and this framework called the Order of Dominion.
Right. And the core question is, do these two things actually work together? Can they help reveal maybe hidden patterns or structures in the text for advanced research?
Okay, so the UTV, that's a specific text, like a Bible version, and the Order of Dominion is more like a way of reading it.
Exactly. The UTV is, well, unique. It's a kind of hybrid blending the King James Version with the Septuagint, the LXX. And the Order of Dominion, yeah, it's a framework, a pretty radical proposal for restructuring the biblical books based on a single theme.
Interesting. Okay, let's dive into the UTV first. You mentioned the Septuagint, the LXX. Why is focusing on that ancient Greek translation such a starting point?
Well, for one, it immediately links the text back to the version often used by the early Christian church. And it implicitly questions the dominance of the Masoretic text, the Hebrew text most modern Bibles rely on.
Ah, okay, so it's choosing a different textual baseline, essentially.
It really is. It shifts the ground a bit.
And the language in the UTV, it seems designed to be maybe a little unfamiliar. It uses transliterated names like Elohim, YHWH, terms like cosmos, age-lasting.
Yeah, that's absolutely intentional. The idea is to strip away layers of later interpretation, the baggage that comes with familiar terms like God or Lord or eternal. It pushes you towards the original word's meanings.
Forces a closer look.
Exactly.
Right.
But maybe the most radical part of the UTV's format isn't just the words. It includes books often left out, like the Book of Enoch.
Right, an expanded canon. Yeah.
And crucially, it's set up as a reader's Bible. No chapter and verse numbers.
Wow, okay. No verses. That's huge, isn't it? That changes how you read completely.
It totally does. It basically prevents you from just grabbing a single verse out of context, what scholars sometimes call atomistic exegesis.
Like proof texting.
Yeah, precisely. This format demands you read it as a whole story, a narrative.
Which leads us perfectly into the second piece, this Order of Dominion framework.
Right. Because if you're reading holistically, you need a way to see the bigger picture. And this framework argues that the entire biblical story revolves around one central idea, this trajectory of dominion.
Dominion. Okay, define that a bit.
It starts right back in Genesis 1.28, the mandate given to humanity. The framework traces this theme, dominion delegated by God, then dominion lost or challenged after the fall, and finally dominion restored and fulfilled.
So it's like a grand cosmic drama, almost legal or political?
You could definitely see it that way, a three-act structure. But here's where it gets really interesting and maybe controversial for some.
Okay.
To establish the initial context, the framework places Genesis, then the Book of Enoch, then Job, all together at its beginning.
Whoa, okay. Enoch right up front with Genesis and Job. That's a bold move, considering Enoch isn't in most standard canons.
It is bold. The justification is that Enoch provides the necessary cosmic backdrop, the heavenly perspective, the angelic conflict before you get to the fall, and Job's questioning of justice. You need that context, the argument goes, to understand the dominion theme properly.
How do they justify that specific order, though? Is it just thematic, or...?
It's not arbitrary. The method relies on what they call comparative exegesis. They specifically use very literal translations, like Young's literal translation, Thompson's 1808 LXX, which the UTV itself favors, and Rotherham's emphasized Bible.
Okay, why those specifically?
The idea is to use these highly literal, sometimes awkward translations as a way to triangulate, to see patterns and nuances that might be smoothed over in more readable translations, and to avoid being locked into one single interpretive lens.
So putting it together, the UTV, with its LXX focus and no verses, provides this sort of raw narrative-first data.
Exactly. Clean data, in a sense.
And the Order of Dominion then provides the analytical framework, the engine, to process that data, looking for this specific dominion theme across a reordered structure.
Precisely. They're not just compatible, they're symbiotic. They share a kind of hermeneutical philosophy, a way of approaching the text. The UTV's format enables the framework's analysis.
So this restructuring, putting Genesis, Enoch, Job together, it forces you to see the problem of suffering in Job, for example. directly in light of the original mandate and the cosmic conflict described in Enoch.
That's the idea. It creates different thematic resonances by changing the proximity of the texts.
Okay, let's bring this back to your listener's research goal. How does this combination actually help with, say, AI analysis?
Well, it shifts the whole approach. Instead of asking an AI, like, analyze citations related to Genesis 3.15, which is often not very effective.
Right, too narrow.
Yeah. You can now ask something much more powerful, based on concepts flowing through the reordered text. For instance, analyze the thematic development of the serpent-crushing motif across the entire UTV text, following the Order of Dominion sequence.
Ah, so you're leveraging the AI's strength in tracking concepts across a large, specifically structured data set.
Exactly. You're guiding the AI with the framework's logic, applied to the UTV's unique text.
So the final take. These two tools, the UTV and the Order of Dominion, they seem uniquely suited for each other.
They really do. The framework aligns perfectly with the UTV's textual choices and its emphasis on holistic reading. The synergy is there.
And the potential payoff for you, the researcher.
Well, this combination, the unique text, the rigorous framework, plus modern pattern recognition tech like AI, it genuinely opens the door for potentially novel theological discoveries.
Like what, for example?
You might uncover a more continuous development of, say, Enochian cosmological ideas throughout the entire canon than previously thought. Or maybe a more integrated biblical theology of governance or justice, themes and connections that the traditional ordering might have, well, unintentionally obscured.
So the opportunity here isn't just about using fancy tools, it's about the potential for finding genuinely original insights hidden in plain sight just by rearranging the pieces and looking through a specific lens.
That's the exciting possibility, yes. A chance to see the structure underneath.